One of my kind. One of our kind.
That's one of his kind.
One of my kids. One of my cans of beans.
I only talk shit cause you're one of my kind and I can't get over you. And if my state of mind.
Shit, this bitch is like...
Yeah, I know. I gave it yummy wood. It's like, delicious. One of my kind. We made that bitch. Lots of work went into it, as always. We broke our bodies and our minds.
As always.
The summer of pain.
It hurts so much. This was another one of those, oh shit, we really did that videos. We wanted to expand on the facility, show some dope-ass performance shots, and we wanted to just like introduce a new vibe.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. This has gone too far. Let's get into it.
Oh shit.
Wow. I think once we were up to bubblegum, we sort of decided we really wanted to kind of tell a story, but it's not just like a contained story within one video. We wanted it to make sense across multiple things.
Yeah. This is the opening of the video, but this was like the last day of shooting.
Yeah, we were racing the sun.
Yeah, because we had to get these intro shots like while the sun was at that like golden hour vibe. So that meant that we had to plan the whole day around that.
We're on a time limit. We only got 2 hours to film the rest of this, and I'm a nomad, and it feels very bad.
It was stressful, and we had to cut some shots, but like I'm so happy with how it turned out.
We have a little Easter egg in there too for anyone that cares. We got the binary and the coordinates.
Yeah.
So you probably saw, but yeah, like that. You know what? Let's play the video. I'll talk about it in a second.
All right, let this bitch speak for itself.
Damn.
Oh.
I feel like we nailed this because we just showed the tiny bit. That's always the problem with the intro of a video is you want to like get them hyped for what's about to come, but you don't want to like reveal all the secrets.
It gets your nipples hard. You're like, ooh, all right, spicy time ahead. So we saw the eyeball poster, just a little bit of context into the whole lore. So the eyeball poster is sort of like a thing I put there to, I guess, like access in my dreams. And so when we go to this like safe space in our head that's away from the facility, we can have these little tokens that we've taken from the real world.
And like the vibes of the lighting, like you nailed that. Like look at that sexy ass fall off. Okay, so this close up, Josh is actually not in his bed, he's on his floor.
Oh, I forget that
yeah,
sometimes.
so I had to get all his sheets and his pillow and make it look like he's in bed, but he's actually on the floor.
You've got a mind, I wanna know. They wanna change you, but I love those eyes.
Alright, so this was the first big day of filming. A lot of our in-between days are just with a light, with a camera, doing the whole DIY thing. This was not that. We had a lot of people. We had some crew, we had extras, we had actors, and we had a lot of gear and everything. I was sort of like pointing the fingers, being like, oh, you there, you there, you there. But in reality, I really didn't know what I was doing. We went to this rehearsal studio. We went there just for their white room. They had this big space that bands like to sort of film music videos in. It's just a pure white room. And that's like exactly what I was looking for. But we were also looking for a hallway, and they just so happened to have this really neat hallway. The only thing was they had this sort of like strange mirrored ceiling sort of thing. Like, you know, not facility stuff. So when I looked at that, I was like, if I can salvage the hallway sort of vibe, maybe I could get rid of the ceiling and the background. And in theory, that sounded great. But when it started happening, I was like, oh God. And that turned into like a month of my life on my computer trying to figure this out.
I'll fix it in post.
I'll fix it in post. The ceiling is CGI. I made a door back there. I made that thing from scratch, damn it. Mapped out a 3D track so that these extra elements would like line up with the camera as the camera moved. So it wasn't just gonna be like this floating piece of 3D thing. And yeah, it ends up looking like a pretty cool facility hallway.
It's one of those things with special effects where you do like a month of work all for people to just like not notice anything. I want like a disclaimer over this part that's like, Josh is really cool and really good at 3D. We're not professional.
When there's a will, there's a way. Is that the saying?
Probably.
When there's a way, there's a way. When there's a will, there's a will.
Run and follow me into the dark. I know you wanna get away. It's killing me quietly. It feels like you like what you mean. What you do, waste your time. I'm wasting mine.
God, I love this guy. First off, this dude, we just kind of brought him in and we were like, all right, so real quick, you're going to have a close-up. You're going to say, I'm wasting my life away and we're going to film it and it'll be great. And he was like...
That's the face he made when we told him.
I think it's funny when music videos have a concept and the concept's like kind of happening isolated from the actual performance stuff. But then when like the concept intertwines with performance, like a character just saying some lyrics, I think that's fun.
God, so this iPad thing and like the lock necklaces. So this is like new concept that Josh created. Is you were like, okay, so the lock necklaces actually have a purpose, right?
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to like flesh out the whole details of the facility and have it a little less vague. So the lock necklace is this barcode sort of thing. I guess it's like a digital roll call. So they can like check each member's there for their treatment. You must eat.
Oh my God, the poor
You
baby.
work hard.
She needs her syrup. Beef head, beef head, beef head.
Beef head, beef head.
When some guy like has a head that weirdly resembles a hunk of beef.
Beef head.
We bully him. Beef head.
Guys, I know I got the beef head, but why you gotta remind me?
Parents give birth to him. Is it just me or does his head kind of look like beef?
What does this do? Oh, I did a thing.
Oh, sick. Is this the tension headache music video? Should we get in there?
So yeah, and I feel like before we've hinted at stuff in the facility and you sort of see it, it's a bit of a vibe, it's a bit of a sort of like surreal experience, but I feel like we're getting a little more specific now, and that's really fun. And this fire is huge and it's scary. Let me just say like real quick, these actors were awesome. They had like next to no notice of what was happening. I think I told them like 10 minutes before, like, you're gonna get scanned and then go into a room, watch a TV show, and then you're gonna have your eyes taken out.
I like TV. What kind of show is this?
I only talk shit cause you're one of my kind that I can't get over you. And if my state of
My performance shot really has a projector going through it.
I thought you were gonna be like, my performance was amazing. I did great.
Nailed it. Oh, my fire.
What do you poke it with? Is it this thing? I only talk shit cause you're one of my kind.
Projection. I also thought it'd be cool while we were filming, there's like a big light outside the hallway. And I was like, could you just like flick that on and off with the beat? I think that'd be kind of fun. And so not only do we have like projection visuals happening, but this freaking light in the hallway is just like, ooh, yeah.
You know, like that's a freaking throwback to the first video we did.
Violet, yeah.
When we got our sister Ash to be on the power board, like flicking it. It was my turn this time.
I only talk shit cause you're one of my kind that I can't.
So basically, when we were like thinking of One of My Kind, we did a similar thing that we did with Violet, which was sort of like draw out a whole bunch of different setups, not really knowing if they make sense, but just like being, wouldn't it be cool to have like a blindfolded dude just whacking a drum?
Right.
Earlier in the year, we were reading this sort of like this strange book, The Divine Comedy. It's basically like this guy's sort of idea of what hell is. And I think it was really fun to sort of see how many different like patterns and loops there are in this story, like things repeating forever. And I thought, like, wouldn't it be funny to like just
Funny.
hilarious even
Super funny.
like portray this dude that's just like stuck in a loop of like infinitely hitting this massive drum. He's being shown eyeball visuals, getting hypnotized, but he can't even fucking see. There's a blindfold there, so like, what's the point? And it's almost like this facility punishment, like you're condemned to hit a drum forever, which is more or less what your actual job is.
Literally, I was chained by an actual chain on the ankle, and I was blindfolded the entire time. And it was just like really hot in that warehouse.
Oh, dude, this is summer.
And I had to be like,
Bum, bum,
it
bum.
hurt my body.
This is just a big complaining session.
Like, videos are the worst.
Bad, it hurt me.
We were like, we really want me hitting a big drum. But then we just like couldn't find a big drum. I was like emailing orchestras.
The
I was
big
like,
drum places.
Yeah, I was like, yo, y'all got one of those big drums? And we eventually got one, so that was all good. But like we almost had to cut this shot, and I was gonna be so upset.
Or just half-ass it with a little tom or something.
It would have been
just wouldn't have even remotely had the same effect. This sort of composition with the warm hazy light at the back with the cool projector on there. That's some good shit, man. That's some good shit.
Cinematography, bitch.
Get over you. If they mess with the minds, I think we'll be fine. We could run away, and drown it out. Oh, I know you best you can undo that smile.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. This is where it gets good. This was another one of those sort of like setups that we drew out the composition to pretty much look exactly like this. Like a line of cult members, a TV in front of them, and some weird sort of like propaganda 80s style VHS video. That TV does not look very big in the shot, but that is a big TV.
I got it for free on Facebook Marketplace because the guy was like, it's just too big. And I was like,
I can't handle its size. So this is photopharmacology. This is like a treatment sort of thing that they disguise as, I guess, like healing your mind. But in reality, the idea is it's meant to be a drug that is activated through light. While they're watching it, they're progressively getting more and more hypnotized. And so by the end, they don't even realize what's happening. So the cult workers can just like take them to get their eyeballs removed, and they'll be like, yeah, seems about right. Shout out to CCP, Concert Corporate Productions, and our boy Jake on lights. So the night before, Jake and I spent about like 16, 18 hours in this place. Played the song countless times, and Jake would be making these like fine adjustments on the lights, how they're gonna like swing out or like come back down or like do sweeps and all that. I didn't get home until like 6 a.m., man. And so to film it, I guess like we'd already programmed everything so we could pretty much just click play on the song and the lights would do their thing. That was all easy, but we were still kind of more or less filming it ourselves. We had our boy Aaron there, we had Jake there as well, and they were sort of helping out with the camera, another guy named Wayne. And all 5 of us were kind of just trying to figure out this thing. Had this massive dolly tracks and this like crane thing. So it was a very hectic night. And by the end of it, when we finished filming, it was just Jake, me, and I remember at like 2 a.m. like I just want one more shock, and Jake was like crawling from the grave like, Josh, no more. I'm sorry, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. It couldn't have been any better, like better than I imagined.
Yeah, but just real quick, like, oh my god, these shots are beautifully cinematographed, which is a word. Even when people are helping Josh shoot, like he's still director of photography. So it's really funny to be on set when he's like at the camera, you're setting it up, you're doing all of it, and then you just like sprint off back to your place.
I am lucky that I don't sweat very easily because I would be a wet mess. We had to return like all the rental gear the next day as well as get this warehouse back to the way it was before we got in. So those two things combined created just like a hellish 6 hours that followed shooting. So yeah, mad shout out to Jake Batten. It wouldn't have been possible without him.
And if my state of mind doesn't put us behind, you could just bring us a little bit closer.
To really get the full like context, it was pretty important that we showed a little bit of what they're viewing with no music, no anything, just like straight up the situation that they're in, because it's a pretty weird situation. So again, made this crazy freaking VHS analog horror tape sort of thing for them to watch. The video is meant to sort of like hypnotize them into a happy state, but it's really just hypnotizing them into believing that they don't want their eyeballs.
Why would you need them?
They don't need them. And so in order to free them from the distractions of sight, they have to remove them.
So this video, basically, I made it all digitally, like in After Effects.
Oh, yes.
And then I got 2 VCR machines, filmed my laptop screen with the video, ran that through one VHS machine onto a tape, ran that one through another one with another tape in it, and then got that tape and put it in the first one again, and then put that back on my computer. And I opened up one of the VCR machines, and because it's like tape, you can like fiddle with it. And so I would just, while I was playing, I was like, that the visual goes.
from the beginning, I really knew that like the uncomfortableness and the sort of like disturbing factor of it really came from it feeling like it's a true sort of like lost footage. But the nostalgia comes into it and it gives you a false sense of like comfort, but with the sort of horror aspects added to it, it gives a really weird feeling. Dreamcore.
Them's the vibes.
That's it. Good job, bitch.
The screen is blank and I am safe. The screen is blank and I am safe.
The screen is blank and I am safe.
Yeah, but there's nothing on there, right?
Obviously, there's something fucking there. But then it makes you think like, is anyone else seeing this? Like, who is that?
Let's talk about the sound for a second. We had that weird little synth song.
Let me just say, I almost cut the synth song. I don't want to. I just want it to be like silent and awkward and kind of like uncomfortably quiet. The song makes it. Like, when you see the close-up of the guy's face and he's just like deadpan over this like bum 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 do 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 do. Like, it's so good.
Another thing that was last minute was that little that chick.
The chick. What's more terrifying than the last thing you see and the thing being embedded in your mind before you literally go blind? Being this face. That's all you see forever.
The people are like, what was Sight like again? I'm pretty sure it was just like that guy, right? Did the world just look like that?
Run away, we're both running hard.
So this was earlier on that same day that we were talking about. Everything had been filmed, but we just had to get these nomad shots. This was the hell of a day that was like racing the sun. The sun is racing us. The worst thing about it, I think, was like, there are so many mosquitoes at this place.
When I was filming, I couldn't slap them away because that would make too much noise and it would get in the shot. So I had to just let them take me.
That is your fate. You must accept it.
I already hate mosquitoes, but that shit, like, that changes you. One got in the car with us and it was like, hey guys, like, where are we
I
going?
tried to open the window on the freeway and it's just like, oh no, I don't like that.
Where's the nearest swamp? I felt like Kill Bill. I was just like murdering so many people and mosquitoes.
The outside, I can't stand, it's killing me slowly.
For some reason, his face kind of reminds me of Handsome Squidward. I think it's the lips.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is there to say? These bitches get blindfolded. Ooh, but you didn't expect that.
I didn't.
Let's move on.
Alright. Do you reckon we're getting better at these or worse? 'Cause I can't tell.
I think we're getting better. Just real quick, what's on the screen now is a compilation of all my master twiddling. Like, this is when I got in there with both hands and I was like, fucking with the
So you're
tape.
swimming through it.
It's killing me slowly, we're running hide. I only talk shit.
Aww.
This poor dude had no idea how to hold a hand.
Aw.
And this took like a good 7 takes. I was just like, and hold hands. And then be like, and just like flop together.
The thing we're trying to convey, right, is because it's not like a love handheld. It's not like, oh my god, they're secretly in love.
It's like human instinct,
Right.
like a little piece of their brain telling them that something's wrong. And even though they're like 99% hypnotized, it's like the little bit of sort of like primitive, like, oh shit, we're in danger
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Now kiss.
I only talk shit 'cause you're one of my kind that they can't get over you.
Uh-oh. It's eyeball scooping time.
It's an ice cream scoop from my kitchen. So
we don't have medical supplies, so we were just like, what can we get that looks like somewhat like a surgical tool? This is the final shot of the day. So like moments after filming this, we called wrap.
I remember us like storyboarding it and being like, oh my god, if we see the tools but they don't, that's gonna make it so much creepier.
Exactly. You know what they don't know.
We're masters of horror. Like, we should make a horror movie. We're
We
so
should make
good.
a horror movie. So if you didn't pick up by now, the Nomad is on a journey to find whatever these coordinates lead to. He's in our dreams. He picks up the piece of paper in our dreams. He's sort of like traveling through multiple dreams to try and find like a problem that he can offer a solution to. So this journey is him walking out of the subconscious and into the real world. The coordinates are going to lead somewhere. So he's looking at his little compass being like, I don't know what's waiting for me, but I'm about to find out.
He's so trusting. Imagine if he just ends up at a McDonald's and it's like, shit.
I'll have a quarter pounder, I guess. Is this right? Let's see what he finds. Oh shit, facility reveal. Let's go.
Oh my god.
That's it. That's where we are. That's where we're held.
I hate that place.
It sucks.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You now have like a visual to associate with the facility. And I made that bitch.
This was the death of my brother right here. Like, I've seen tears, I've seen every emotion from this fucking thing.
Every fluid.
And it started as like a passion thing, right? Because he's learning 3D with every video we do. And you were like, okay, this is really fun. I'm like putting all these like little details
I'm enjoying
in.
this.
Yeah, you're like putting these little details in, like having a good time building this facility. Flash forward to like the end of the process when you were like, maybe we should just cut the scene.
I considered it multiple times. But it's not like we knew what the facility looked like when we did Violet or when we did Tension Headache. We had no fucking clue. I had a mood board and like a sort of like reference board of all different times we've shown the facility in previous videos. And so I was kind of taking from that to like give it even more context and build out on it. So eventually I started drawing up what was like, I guess like a floor plan. The cult member accommodation all along the sides, the mess hall down the middle. Up the top we have the workers' place, and then up the very top is like an observation tower. I planned all that shit. Then I could start adding windows and doors, and then it went even further to like, all right, well, how does this fucking place get electricity? So we got like,
Here we go.
Let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the...
we got like power lines running through here. You can't see it, it's off screen, but there's a whole like step down transformer over here. It's getting stepped down to like residential currency that is then taken through all of this. There's a telephone tower for the cult workers so that they can get signal. Some security cameras in there. There's a bird. They got like a freaking oil tank or some shit. There's pipes everywhere. Some of these pipes don't even make sense. Fuck it, I'm the pipe lord now. I'm adding shit left, right, and center. That when we showed the first opening shot in Violet, that's happening right there. It all makes sense, man. It's all tying together now.
If I was doing the 3D, I would have done it like, it's only the way it looks that matters. It doesn't matter if it works. And when I tell you this motherfucker got obsessed with power lines, like when you
I can't look up in the damn sky anymore.
You would call me at like 11 p.m. and be like, so power lines, you'll never believe this, but power lines basically, like this goes into this, and then that's how you get power in your house. I was like, cool. Anything else? And you're like, no, see ya.
And the last thing I'll say is that we have a whole bunch of guards in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I forgot about this.
And they're all
Let's look.
Yeah.
each one of those guards. There's a sleeping one up there. There's a dude reading a newspaper. This one right here is on the fucking phone.
I actually did method acting, so basically for every character, I lived in that persona for 1 month.
Did you? I was unaware of this.
Yeah.
We have a facility now, and it functions.
How long did that take to render for that shot?
Oh god, yeah. I think it took about 3.5 days.
Oh my god.
Which isn't that long for like a 3D render, but you know, I couldn't use my computer. It would sound like it's just like whirring up and down every time I go in the room. I'd be like, just a little longer, just keep holding on.
Sorry, I was waving at my cat. Is this the end?
Yeah, that's it.
Shit.
One of a kind.
One of a kind.
We did it again.
Why?
Dunno. I remember being there, like at that location, and we were just talking about like, wow, like we're really just doing all of this for like some people to see. Like some just the entertainment of like our fans. Music videos are stressful. And so amongst all the stress, it's kind of nice to remember that like this is for you guys. This is for you to enjoy. And yeah, if you like it, please share it. Spread the word, because the more people that get to see it, the more we feel like our hard work paid off.
I hope that we get really famous in the future and then people come back to this and be like, oh my god, this was ahead of its time. Like, those motherfuckers were doing this.
They were. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We honestly had a whole bunch of fun making this. It was a whole learning experience. If you have any questions, not just about this, but like anything in the video, anything we did, please let us know in the comments, because we're fucking nerds. We like talking about this shit. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Thanks.